Grenade, melee. Melee. Grenade. Grenade. Melee. Alright, sorry. I had to show you. I had to show you what this build could do. So, today, we have another build video. But before we get into that, after watching this video, if you can like, comment, and possibly consider subscribing, I would really appreciate it. It's free, quick, easy, and you could always unsubscribe if you don't like my content afterwards. Alright, let's get straight into the video. So, we have a different sort of type of build than normal. Once again, it's a PvE build, but this time we're actually going to be using our hunter for spamming grenades. Now that is not something that I say too often, but what we're going to be doing is spamming trip mine grenades while at the same time spamming our melee ability. So it's like the Titan one, except it's for hunter. Yeah, it's for hunter. And how we're going to be doing this is using Ahamhara, young Ahamhara's spine. He was just a wee lad. Now what this actually does is it increases trip mine duration as well as blast radius. Another cool thing about this is that you actually can't get hit by your own trip mine. No matter how close you are to your trip mine, it does not do damage to you if it explodes. Also, ability damage grants trip mine grenade energy. That is also a big factor of our build. That is monumental because along with our grenade spam that we're going to be using with young Ahamhara's spine and trip mine, we are also going to be using our melee. And we can actually use two separate builds for this, not just one. Now, of course, we're going in solar because trip mines are only in solar. But the cool thing about this, like I just said, you could use two different builds. You could use the bottom one or you can use the top one. Maybe one favoring a little bit more than the others, such as knife trick, but they're both good either way. They both have their own different situations of which they're good in, but both can be used for ad control. However, knife trick is more consistent as well as forgiving because even if you miss your knives with knife trick, you can get them back almost instantly because of another perk within the skill tree, which is playing with fire. It helps you get your knife back extremely fast, as well as the burning edge, which helps with bosses. The middle tree is also far better for killing bosses, for your knives recharge extremely quick due to your dodge also recharging, which then therefore recharges your grenade because of knife ability damage. Jesus Christ! But I digress. Now the reason why you can actually go into both is because, like I said earlier, with a young Ahamhara's spine, ability damage reduces the cooldown of it. So our knives are a big factor of that. Now with bottom tree, it's very helpful because our knife actually resets and it gives it back to us. It recharges whenever we get a headshot kill with it. So as long as you're landing the headshots and keep ramping it up over and over again, you're gonna get your knife back. Apologies, you're gonna get your grenade back within minimum 2 knife kills or 2 knife headshots. The unfortunate thing about this build though is if you miss your throwing knife, you're kind of screwed. Fortunately, you have your dodge, which gives you your knife back so long as you dodge nearby an enemy. But if you miss both of them, then you're kind of screwed for a little bit, and it kind of messes up your whole rotation of the knife grenade, knife grenade, knife grenade. However, with the middle tree, playing with fire and knife trick, even if you miss your knife trick, then it recharges extremely fast so long as you have the stacks of playing with fire ramped up. So in terms of what is more consistent and better to play around, it's probably the middle skill tree. But personally, I have more fun with bottom skill tree. It's just something about tossing that knife around your hand and around your finger and just chucking it at their head. Whew. Makes me moving out of the skill tree. For weapons, I am rocking with the Monte Carlo. Now, the reason why I'm actually using the Monte Carlo for 2 reasons. 1, we get our knife back, and 2, we get our knife back. Now, if you're using bottom tree, then Monte Carlo, I would highly recommend it to you, so you can get that knife back if you somehow miss both of the knives. Trust me, it happens much more often than you would think. It happens to me a lot. But if you're using middle tree with solar on the hunter, then Monte Carlo is not really needed as much because you're getting your knife back insanely fast anyway. For my shotgun, I'm just using first and last out. You can use whatever secondary you want, whatever you like slaying with in PvE. It's personal preference, entirely up to you. Although, first and last out, just gonna say this, slug shotgun, god tier in PvE. This thing destroys. Heavy weapon, same thing, personal preference, doesn't matter. Falling guillotine, I believe it's getting a nerf in the next DLC. So do not get too attached to it. Try to stretch out to different heavies such as grenade launchers and rockets. Although they're probably going to come out with some other BS sword because, you know, Bungie. In terms of stats don't matter. Resilience, god awful low. I'll explain that in just a second. But try to get your discipline high up. And if not your discipline, then just whatever you so choose, to be honest. I like my discipline up because in case I somehow miraculously mess up everything I possibly can mess up, I have the discipline to at least give me my grenade back just that much faster. Mobility, always high, because you know me. Speedy boy. Resilience, god awful because of one of our mods that I will start to go after now, because there's nothing really else to go over in terms of stats. Everything else, personal preference. Try to have recovery up. You don't want to die too easy. Now, in terms of mods, the reason why my resilience is low, and I'm not too worried about it, is because of protective light. Now, what this does, while we're charged of light, you gain significant resistance against combatants when your shields are destroyed. The effect consumes all stacks of charged light. The more stacks consumed, the longer the damage resistance lasts. So, I am banking on this quite heavily, and that's why my resilience is pretty god-awful low. Because in terms of whether or not I am low or not, this will protect me and save me like 90% of the time. In some situations, I will get shredded, and it will be my own fault, so I recommend higher resilience and higher recovery, but I like running protective light just because I'm always in the enemy's faces, because that is how I have fun with this game. Now, to proc protective light, I am running shield break charge, which gives you charge of light whenever you break an enemy's shield. I'm also running charged harvester, which gives me charge of light on any kill, but it's a very low chance, but there's a ton of enemies anyway, so it's more likely than not that you will become charged with light while using this. And to finalize it, I am using taking charge as well, which gives you charge of light whenever you get an orb of light. That's pairs out very well with masterwork weapons. So if you don't run Monte Carlo and you go with a different masterwork weapon or a different weapon with a catalyst on it, then those weapons will generate orbs of light, which will help you get charge of light that much easier. If you so choose to run something else that uses your charge of light stacks, using a different gun than the Monte Carlo would most likely be beneficial to you. And yeah, that's about it in terms of the build. I have nothing else really that I want to go over. Oh, try to get traction on it, on your boots. Very nice. But yeah, that's about it. Dynamo reduces super cooldown. You can use whatever you want for this. I would probably go with like a grenade cooldown type of thing. But yeah, that's it. That is all. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, if you found it useful, if you found me being entertaining, because you know I'm a dumb idiot, then hit that like button, comment down below, and comment whatever you want. If you're just gonna meme on me, do it please. I love me some sweet memes. And yeah, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it means the world to me. All right, I'm out of here. Ah, my finger. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.